Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined, as always, by my peppy co-host, Alexander Volts. Say hello.
Hello.
This is Every Album Ever, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time, except for these EAE singles episodes where we cover a brand new album. And what are we discussing today?
We're discussing a brand new album from a brand new band called GASWAR, and the album is Girl Vanishes on Way to Jive Club.
One of the, I would say, album title of the year.
Sounds like a Sparks album title, actually.
Kind of, yeah. It sounds, I'm guessing, I would imagine they took that from an actual headline of a news article. I bet that's a news story headline because it's fucking fascinating.
You're a little more familiar with some of these members, but
it is a supergroup of sorts.
We have covered. Have we covered? Yes, we've covered.
Oh, yes.
We've covered Hammer.
Oh, yes. So, for those who don't know, GASWAR is a brand new band comprising members. So, you got Kevin Rutmanis from Cows and Melvins and Vaz. And then you got both Jeff Mooridian Jr. and Apollo Liftoff, a.k.a. Paul. Fuck, what's his name?
Mike, that was your job. That was your job.
Paul from Hammerhead.
You could have just said that, but you thought you had his AKA down.
I fucking thought I did. You know what? We're finding out. Paul Erickson. There we go. Paul Erickson, bass player and vocalist for Hammerhead. Jeff Mooridian Jr., drummer from Hammerhead. Check out that episode, by the way. Check out the Melvins episodes, too. Part 2 is where all of Kevin's albums are on.
Check out all of Amphetamine Reptile album.
AmRep in general. AmRep is one of the sickest fucking labels. We've been getting a lot of requests to do the Cows, and I know I love the Cows. Don't get me wrong, baby. We'll find a way to squeeze it in, and not to mention fucking Heroin Cheeks too. Right? Heroin Cheeks. Everyone listen to the Heroin Cheeks. They need their due. They need their due.
If anyone from AmRap wants to figure out a way to get me in touch with some dope guns and fucking in the street compilations, I like those.
Okay.
They're this little 45s. So
all right. Well, the call to the universe has been made.
Yeah. Also, I dislike the album title. It's
a good ass name.
Yeah,
it's a good ass name. But this album was by the way, it's releasing. If you're watching this the day this drops, this will be releasing on December 8th. But for everyone else, you'll see the date that it is in your life whenever you're watching this. This comes out December 8th, and we got this in advance thanks to our boy Tom Osman, who should all go follow and hang out with because he's cool and he gets us interviews and albums and he does a bunch of research for us and he's a cool dude. So thank you to Tom for hooking us up. And well, I guess we might as well jump into the album.
Yeah, this is a nice little album to cap off the year with.
This can't. We're at the tail end.
I'm gonna be the only person call this album a nice album.
I love this album.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised that I love this album, but I am surprised at how much I love this album because love. By the way, Kevin Rutmanis was also in Tomahawk. One of the coolest fucking supergroups. I still like them now, and I still love that Trevor Dunn is their bassist. But when Kevin was there, it was a super group.
Yeah,
Pat and Dwayne, Kevin, and the guy from Helmet. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting his name. On drums. So anytime Kevin is involved in something, I still haven't listened to Vaz because I'm shitty. But anytime he's involved in something, I'm always a little like, all right, it's got to be at least interesting because he is. I don't think I've ever heard a thing that he was on that I didn't like, honestly.
Well, I guess it's never boring, at least.
Never boring. And honestly, he was on one of my top 3, I would say, favorite Melvins albums, which is Hustle Ambient Takeover. I really love that album. And that was I think it was Kevin's last album with the Melvins.
Pulling a Robert there.
I love it so much. I really love that album. I think it's almost flawless. I really do love that album. But and then we got Apollo and Jeff from Hammerhead, and I'm a bigger Hammerhead guy than you, but they're a very fucking cool band. And this sounds like none of them.
Yeah. Yes. This is also very interesting where it starts off and then where it ends. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was great.
This,
like, yeah, the opening track is like this like funky noise track, and you get this like surreal wall of sound. I was like, oh, is that this one thing? But this is very much like a nightmare of an album.
It's fucking fascinating because the soundscapes, the production, the choices, they're all nightmarish. They're all nightmarish, but they're not like scary fucking black metal, creepy, doomy. It's the sounds like almost like a sleep paralysis type of nightmare where it's like, it's just really harsh, but it's not scary or dark or evil or the riffs aren't even that mean.
It's more of an existential dread.
It's just an intensity, like because it's like really weirdly catchy. It's like it's not upsetting, ugly. It's nothing like that. These are like hooky, cool little riffs, almost normal riffs, played in the most nightmarish way. And then the chorus sections on that song, I guess you can call them the chorus sections, they're fucking incredible. They're busy as shit. They're really heavy. Those are actually pretty mean. It's ugly and messy, but not ugly as in the type of riffs. It's ugly as in it looks like it's like a fucking Pollock painting, but in music, but in noise rock form. But I think it's a great opener. And then we move on to Memories of Steam, which, dude, it feels so good.
Yeah, I think also anytime I'm just gonna call it the big black guitar tone. I don't know.
Basically, it's not quite. I mean, it's you did because what I wrote was that opening riff sounds super metallic, and that is big black. And check out that episode, by the way. And Rape Man, by the way. The riff, it sounds not like metal, not like heavy metal. It sounds like scraping metal. Yeah. Like sheet metal or something.
Completely different vibe from the opener for me. It's interesting how the vocals have more of like an indie rock feel to them.
Yeah.
And then
they're more subdued.
At one point I was like, this is like damn near like Radiohead. If Radiohead committed to being like fucking weirdos,
if they committed to being inaccessible, which I don't think they've ever done once ever. As much as I enjoy them as a band, they will dip their toes into it, but they never go. Yeah, they're not gonna.
I mean, that's not their lane.
Clearly not. But that's so. Memories of Steam. I mean, so first a general thing. As much as I love everybody's performance here, and honestly, it doesn't even on their Bandcamp. It doesn't really list what they do. I mean, I know Jeff is on drums and I figure Apollo is on bass because of Hammerhead. I keep saying that Kevin was on. My mistake. Jeff and Apollo are from Vaz. Kevin, his band is Hep. Fuck. What are they called? I'm gonna find out right now.
Mike is throwing himself layups and missing them today.
I know. Is it hepatitis? Yeah, hepatitis. Hepa/Titus. That's what it was. I kept thinking Vaz was his. I've never heard hepatitis. I'm actually very interested in hearing that band, especially because their 2019 album is called Blue Fat Pussy, and that is a fucking hilarious name for an album.
Just fucking roast beef, I guess.
Oh yeah. But anyway, it doesn't actually list what instruments they play. I don't know who's singing. I can't really tell. And honestly, you can't really make out many vocals on this album.
There's a lot of effects going on.
There's a lot of noise and feedback. But my original point, as much as I love everybody's performance and how crazy everything is, I think Jeff is the fucking star of the show here. His drums are so fucking hooky. They're so his drums are kind of what hold everything together. But his choices are specifically the things that make these feel so satisfying. So like on Memories of Steam, as soon as the drums come in, it's like it opens everything up. And then around 240, this really cool section comes in with these kind of tribal drums. But what everything else is doing, the riff there is something that happens a few times in this album that I love. It's this weird vagueness where you kind of can't pinpoint what they're doing. You only sort of feel what they're doing, you can kind of tell that this is kind of pretty. It's noisy and pretty, but I don't know what they're doing. I fucking don't know what the guitar is doing. The bass line, you can kind of make out sort of what it's doing, but it's a very vague feeling riff. It's a feeling riff more than it is a hearing riff. But the drums are what keep it gluey and catchy.
Something this, I guess I'm going to use the word floaty, but you got to have something like the drums to do that.
Exactly, because it's pure chaos, but the drums are tight as shit. And we've gushed about Jeff in the Hammerhead episode. He's incredible, like he's fucking great. But I do love that song. And then now let's move on. Lion, baby, lion.
That is first time it's like heavy. Like, I like singing just wah 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 like adult in the Peanuts cartoons.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah. I love the like snare roll beat that's happening in the song.
Yep, super busy snare fill.
And then those beautiful hideous guitars.
Dude, that for something about that tone in that song is just really stuck out to me. It's super scrapey, more metallic kind of sounding stuff. And then I did note also the drums with that snare shit. It's just super fucking cool. But the vocals, I now remember what you're talking about with the Charlie Brown adult vocals. They're almost random sounding. A lot of it's really psychedelic and swirly. They're kind of dipping into both channels a lot. And then fucking 240. Holy shit. This is why I love this album. Because 240.
Mike is going to cream his jeans.
Dude, already did. How did they write that? How did they write that? Because it's clean. So one way to get on my good side, to get my sweet spot, make something fucked up, weird, bizarre, and clean. And that's what they did. It's a clean section. It's really strange and vomity sounding. I don't even know how to describe it. Like when I think my go-to is Junk from No Means No. Check out that episode where that clean section toward the end is just, it's sickly and strange, but you don't need crunchiness and distortion to make something feel unsettling.
I love using all these horrible adjectives to describe this music.
Yeah.
And as positives. And I feel like the band would 100% is going for that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because it feels so. I don't think I can name go ahead.
Oh, terrible day to have eyes.
Yeah.
Just more nightmare fueled music, guitar riffs that give you anxiety, but the bass is groovy. So that's fucking cool.
I don't know if I can name a favorite on here, but if I had to, that might be it.
That might be it. I think Lion's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to pick a favorite because it's just so tight, and oddly the songs do offer different things. Like, so yeah, it's kind of hard just to pick like that one song.
Yeah, they do a lot of different things, but I guess this is a band where if you're enjoying this, you're already kind of sick, and what's going to resonate with you, who fucking knows?
I will say we're using these ways to describe it, but I don't, or maybe I'm just too far gone. I wouldn't even I don't find it that abrasive.
So here's what makes it not that abrasive.
Yeah.
Some of these riffs, I don't even think they're that amazing of riffs. They're just really regular kind of accessible riffs. This
is this would be like a good album. Like if someone wanted to get into noise rock, like you could show them this album first.
You might be able to. I mean, it is a little harsh, but it's catchy enough.
Also, if you've made the decision you want to start listening to noise rock, you're already at least on my good side. There's so much there. But when I say like not all the riffs are amazing, but it's how they pull it off that's incredible. It's like Terrible Day to Have Eyes is a perfect example of that, because that opening riff, I don't really like that riff, but then what follows is fucking so good. And it's like, so you're talking about this, I mean, it's basically like a regular catchy bass line.
but has the guitar over it is doing this basically siren thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very siren-y sound. And it's, I mean, we've heard siren sounds in noise rock before, but that one sounds especially fucked up and dirty. And that song also has another really cool, beautiful, vague riff section where it's like, I can't tell what's happening here, but it's registering my mind as beautiful. That's all I know. It's a fucking amazing song. I think it's fucking great. Another example of that thing I was saying about the weirdly regular poppy kind of simple riffs is the main riff to Deborah Had Never Felt So Dirty in Her Life.
And neither have I.
It's a good name for a song.
Perfect name for a song on this album.
Yeah. What a poppy ass riff though.
I was really taken aback by that song. At times I was listening to one instrument or sound, and then I'd listen to another one, and then I was like, that's it. And then I'd hear another layer. It's almost like they're like smashing together these different genres of music on that track, but it works.
It is very interesting. It still has those like hideous siren guitars, which I already like, but it goes in the section that follows is this. It's really noisy with a really busy mix. There's synths in there. There's noise. There's feedback. There's beeps. There's fucking everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So it's like it is a little overwhelming, but the thing about that section, it's like we're describing it as, you know, things keep coming in, more keeps coming in. There's so much happening, but it's so much cooler than that in practice. Like this album feels to me like
our words cannot do this album justice.
Yeah, because it's like
we're trying here, but
this is an album exemplified by the talent of the members, and I don't mean like, I guess mean technical talent as well, but like in the choices, in the creative choices, because there's a million gajillion bands in the world, and plenty of them can do a thing like, oh, let's have this poppy thing, and then we'll throw some noise on top of it, and then it's just annoying. Mm-hmm. Like I can't explain why it feels so good. It feels great, which is it's strange, and it's kind of like it's a bit of an anomaly.
My only beef with this album is
don't go to the closer yet.
No. Is that Midnight at the Bush Foundation is too short.
It is 1:40, I think.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful.
It's like the most psychedelic thing on here. I get why it's short. I'm not, not real beef, but I like the like sinister Latin spoken word stuff on there.
Yeah, it's
very, very cool, but also is like a filler track, if you will.
It's basically a filler transition track, but it's really broody and suspenseful, and it's way quieter than everything else in the album. It's mostly clean, and it's beautiful. It's dark and beautiful, and it's super cool. And every time I listen to this album, it's like I have to always double check. Like, did it fucking end already? Like, it doesn't feel like a transition track. It feels like I wanted more of it. And then following that, we got Mom and Dad and Father.
I like that song because it sounds like a bunch of teenagers who like noise rock covering a Black Sabbath song.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that main riff is real ugly. It for me, it doesn't hit as hard as many of the other things here.
You know what? This might be a contender for one of my favorite tracks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. But like all the other ones, the drums and arrangements are phenomenal. There's something. It's mostly on that song. It's on other parts of the album, but I noticed it most on that song. The spoken word vocals, they do a thing on this album that I've never heard in a band, where it sounds, because of all the chaos and the way they're mixed, because they're very buried, and the way he's speaking, whether it's Kevin or Jeff, it sounds more like a TV's on in the background than it sounds like someone singing.
Yeah,
which is a fucking really cool, like little, I can't even say choice, because I don't know if that was their intention to make it sound like that, but it certainly feels like that.
These guys are seasoned pros. I'm going to say yes.
I mean, but what a cool idea to make it sound like the TV's on in the background. I don't know. I guess because that's how I that's how I practiced and played music for so long. It's just with TVs on in the background. So
oh, that's fucking insane.
It's fucking nuts. I know.
Yeah.
But
wouldn't get anything done.
Well, it explains where I'm at in life. But then we got the closer, Father Complex, and the solution of the rat idea, which is my only problem with the album.
This falls into a so it is like a drum solo over these like squeaky sound effects.
Pure cacophony, yeah.
The like chopped and screwed vocals. And then you get like the white noise part, emphasis on the noise. Yeah. It's one of the few it works for me in the context of this album.
Really?
Yeah. Like you were saying, it's like a feeling. I can't pinpoint it. Not every band should do tracks like this, but on this album, it works for me as this soundscape to close out the album. Interesting.
It doesn't work for me. It's in my mind, it's the same thing as the closer for the recent Mr. Fly's album, Fat Chance, where that closer was another, we're just going to go ham for, that song was 7 minutes. This one's 5 minutes. We're going to go ham for a long time, longer than most of the songs.
Yeah.
It's going to be really fucking abrasive. There's not going to be any musicality to it. There's not going to be any riffs there.
Yeah.
And it's just chaos.
I think because Mr. Fly's was more rockin', that one felt more unnecessary.
More out of place, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Where this is like right from the get-go is like, it's like more like surreal. So it works
as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still, it's even though it does, I definitely agree that it does fit more as a whole. Cause I mean, the Mr. Fly's album is definitely chaotic, but it's rocking. It's definitely rocking. This is, it's rocking in its own way, but it's far more like cerebral and sadistic, even if it's catchy and fun. So it fits in more there, but I think I'm just past the point of listening to songs where it's just noise for the sake of noise. I'm just not into that thing. I just, unless it's actively creeping me out or making me feel unsettled or make me feel a thing, then it just bores me.
This one made me feel a thing.
It made you feel a thing.
Yeah.
Right
so
on.
Not all bands. This band, yes. Swans, yes. Volta, most of the time, yes. But yeah.
Yeah, it's another one of the things where you can't explain what makes it good or how someone can do it better than someone else. That's just how it is. Sometimes it comes out better.
It's because there's this disturbing, like deformed patient with a mask on the album cover, almost like an airplane going down, and you put the oxygen mask.
That's what it looks like. It looks like the airplane oxygen mask.
But they're like mutated. And
it looks like a man with a mustache is coming out of the air hole of the oxygen.
Yeah, like a David Cross or
he looks like a Robert Paul Champagne for those YMH fans.
So yeah, I think this closing track very much captures that album cover. Honestly, it's a pretty fucking awesome album cover. It was done by apparently Mouse Squaz, which is clearly a Mr. Bung reference. Check out that episode of one of my favorite songs from Disco Volante. Who the fuck is Mouse Squaz? I don't know.
But he's doing good work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot to say, they wrote some of these songs over 20 years ago.
Holy shit, really?
They didn't record them for some reason. And then, so I think maybe like three or four tracks on here are about like 20 years old. So
holy crap. I'm going to pull up that. Keep going.
Yeah. Very, very interesting that this band has, they're like technically they've played together before, but this is just the first time. Yes, there's a quote here. Yeah, from the press release. Where is it? So Kevin said when how they met, he says Kyle's played a show with Hammerhead sometime in late 80s or early 90s at the Uptown Bar in Minneapolis. It's one of the only times Shannon, the singer for the Cows, also singer for Heroin Cheeks, check out the Heroin Cheeks. Sorry. It was one of the only times Shannon told me I'd better go check out the opening band because they were so good. Oh, and then it says by the late 90s with both Cows and Hammerhead on hiatus. Oh. These three artists joined forces to create what would become the debut release of GASWAR. Shit. And then Kevin says there was a basement we could rehearse in during the brutally cold Minnesota winter.
We all played pretty much all the time, and we were in each other's company most of the time. It was only natural to combine these two activities.
And then more than 2 decades after its initial recording.
Holy shit. Yeah. So
I guess it's the whole album. Never mind. I misspoke at the.
So the whole thing was recorded 20 fucking years ago. Was it?
Yeah. Recording their debut in 1999.
Holy shit. So this, we just realized this in real time. I glossed over the press release and I didn't read it until right now.
Yeah, I read it, but not enough to correct you. And
holy shit.
And I should have said it at the top of the hour.
Dude,
I was just so excited to talk about the music.
Seriously. And also, this was recorded before Hostile Ambient Takeover. Holy shit, dude.
It's crazy. It sounds new.
This is timeless shit. I mean, if you're into abrasive, noisy craziness, completely timeless. If you told me this was early 90s, if you told me this was this year, I wouldn't fucking, I couldn't. I can't believe it's, wow. So why did they release it 20 years late? Kevin said that the LP drifted off into space as we got busy with Vaz, the Melvins, and later with Tomahawk. I heard it again a few months ago via random shuffle and remembered how much I liked it. The boys encouraged me to go ahead and wrap it up. Did some vocals, add a little guitar here, a few scratches there, some drums from Jeff, ran it by everybody for a final okay. So there was some extra recording done.
Yeah, just spruced it up a little bit. That's not too bad. Yeah. Put some cilantro on top.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds fucking great. I couldn't tell what was or wasn't recorded this year. I'm assuming these guys aren't going to be performing. There's no dates.
Yeah, but there you go. A hidden 20-year-old gem unearthed for y'all's listening pleasure.
Pretty much. I mean, 20 years old, but it was, and at least some stuff was added. It wasn't like, I mean, but still structurally complete.
I feel stupid at the top of the hour saying a brand new album from a brand new band now.
I know.
Brand new to the public.
It's brand new for us.
Yes.
But I really wish these guys would tour or something because this is fucking rules. I mean, I couldn't imagine how the songs would sound live because there's clearly a lot of overdub stuff. But I mean, this is easily one of my favorite albums of the year. I mean, it's weirdly addictive. I fucking love how all these songs just were executed. And there's just too many memorable moments. The arrangements are incredible. The drums are fucking spectacular. And the moments of beauty are just not what you would expect. You can't even figure out how they're doing it or how they came up with it. It's just, I don't know. It's wonderful. Even the closer, which I don't care for, very much, couldn't drag it down.
As we've established, even bands Mike likes sounds like an asshole.
I just feel things and I talk too much. You know, I don't know, man. It's cool. Listen to the album, dude. It's rad.
You probably, I think, I haven't read or heard other reviews. I'm going to say you gave them their most glowing review.
Who?
This
band?
Yeah.
Well, cool.
We'll see who can top that.
Yeah. I hope they're getting fucking covered because this is, I mean, it's one of the best albums of the year, like without question. I fucking really love this album. This is going to be on rotation for a good while. Damn. But might as well wrap it. So thank you so much for listening and watching and hanging out. And thank you so much to Tom for getting this album in our little greedy paws. Everyone check it out when it comes out on December 8th. And now, if you're watching this episode after that, you can follow me on all social media at PanderMonkey and Alex on Instagram at
Every Album Alex.
Please be sure to follow our history guy Tom Osman at Tom Osman Sounds on all social media, as well as TomOsmanSounds.com for all his music. He's got a bunch of stuff streaming right now. You can find links to that in the description. You can also find a link to my EP in the description as well. It's very cool. Listen to it, please. Thank you. And let's not forget, everybody. Let's not forget patreon.com/everyalbumever. That's where you go. You get a bunch of bonus episodes. You get to see our schedule in advance. You get to vote on polls to decide who we cover next. You get to join our Discord, be a part of our active community, as well as suggest these episodes, these EAE singles episodes, new albums that came out this year. Throw them on there. We'll pick out whichever ones we feel like. And if you're tier 2 If you're bigger than Jesus, then you can suggest a full discography for us to cover on our bigger, longer, numbered episodes, as well as suggest individual albums from any discography for us to cover on Patreon bonus episodes. So we got some on there as we speak, and it's a good time. Do that. Thank you. I think that's about it. So we might as well wrap it with the single that's already out right now. And that's the opener, Get Down Moses. So, oh yeah, thank you so much for listening and watching. See ya.